Hey Reefers, welcome back to another video from Reef Drama. Today we're going to be looking and talking about the RODI water that we use to top up our saltwater tanks with. Now, if you like this video, if you find it useful, please give it a thumbs up, and also please consider supporting the channel by subscribing. It doesn't cost you a penny, but it certainly does help me out. Thanks very much. Enjoy the video. See you in a minute. Right, so first things first, we need to turn the RODI unit on, and it's going to go through a flush. Now it does have an automatic flush built in. At the moment it's saying here that it's on the flush. We've got the ppm coming in, parts per million, which is 314 roughly. That's going straight actually from the source tap straight into the unit. Currently we've got 84, 94 coming out. That's going to fluctuate, and that will gradually start to come down. Now the black line is the waste that's going to go out to the water butt that's collecting that waste water for me. But what I have found is that the water will also get pushed through very slightly through the DI and then down into the actual container. So to stop that, I've put a double adapter here with two taps. So at the moment the lower tap is on, and that also runs out to the drainage. The second tap here is off, and that will run up through to the DI itself. It will go through the DI, and then it will come back out through this one and then down into the container where I'm collecting the RO water. Now it's going to flush for a period of time, then it's going to automatically go on to the producing the source water. So every now and again I do need to press this bottom button here, which will force it back onto the flush, and you can see now that that's actually coming down. So this is the first step. We'll let this run until this has come down to about 5, and then we'll start the rest of the process. Okay, so this will be the final flush. That's now literally just clipped over to purify, which is making the water. And I'm going to carry on letting this run through. So nothing is now going out through the waste pipe. It's all coming through towards the DI resin. But at the moment we've still got the DI resin section switched off, and we've still got it going to waste. Now I'm going to let this continue to produce water, as I mentioned before, till this gets down to 5. Once it gets down to 5 parts per million, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch on the tap to the DI and switch off the tap to the waste. So let's do that now. Not sure if you can see, but we are actually getting on this one here currently 2 parts per million after that DI resin. When that gets to about 3, maybe 4, that's when I'll change the DI resin. So we're going to let the water continue to make. This particular system does around about 25 litres in an hour. Okay, so this has been running now for about an hour, so we've got enough water in the bin to do what we need to do. There was already a little bit in there anyway, so we've probably got more than 25 litres. Alright, so as we can see, lift off the lid, and we've got a reasonable amount in there of the fresh RODI water. So let's pop the lid over there, and what we're going to do now is we're going to take out some, put it into the 25 litre container that will eventually go indoors to be the auto top up water, and we're going to put it through its remin cycle as well. So show you how I do that. Alright, so just behind here I've got my pump. We'll pop that in there, that into there, turn it on, and then we'll start up the fill process of this 25 litre container. Right, next step then is to pour some into this bowl. Now this is the bowl that I use to mix the remin water in, or the remin powder in I should say. And you can see I've turned the barrel on its side, and that prevents all the water from splashing out all over the place as you might experience So we'll grab this now. So we'll put the bowl of RODI water in here. I've got the pump just hanging on the inside, so we'll just pop that in. That just sits in the bottom there. And then I take my Tropic Marin RE-MINERAL powder, and it comes with a little spoon inside. One level spoon is enough for 15 litres. So usually scrape off the top, make it level, tip that in. I'm going to turn the pump on first of all, and then sprinkle this in. We'll leave this mixing now. I've got a lid that I put on it, like so. So that will just keep it protected. And we'll come back in a good few hours and that will be all mixed up. Right, so this is now after a few hours of mixing. If we take the lid off, and you can see there that all that RE-MIN powder has now all been mixed in nicely. So I can go ahead, turn off the actual pump itself that we've got in here, just drain it out. And then because I've got this bowl sat in this container, it's just to make sure that I've got a lid for it really, so I can leave it out here. I can leave it mixing for a few hours, for 8 hours, overnight, whatever it takes, doesn't really matter. But because it's in the garage, I want to make sure that obviously no foreign bodies or whatever can get into this water, so that's why I've got the lid on it. So what we need to do now is just lift this bowl out and put it into the container, which I've got with the funnel to make it easier, and also I've got the sieve on top of the funnel as well. So let's do that. We'll take this out and go from there. So then all we're going to need to do now is just pour it into here, and the reason why I've got the sieve on here is really just to catch any of the big bits. As you can see, I keep using the same container, probably will do for maybe 6 months, 4 months, and then I'll probably just throw it away and buy a new one. Obviously it's only dead cheap. So that's kind of captured some of the big bits and kept it all nice and clear inside the container. And really just one of the reasons why I use the RE-MIN is because obviously the RODI water is absolutely taken everything out, all the bad stuff as well as all the beneficial. So what the RE-MIN will do is it will put back in the beneficial minerals into the water, as well as raising alkalinity as well. Now, I've always done this for all of my tanks, including the one that I've got now, you know, some will probably say,
well, you don't need to put it in the RODI water, that's just for your top-up water.
Because everything is in there, you know, with regards to the salt. As soon as you do your salt mix and you do your 10 or your 20%, whatever it is, salt water change that you do, the minerals are being introduced back into the tank that way. Well, yes, obviously that is true, but I also like to do it in the top-up water as well. Now I have done an ICP test recently, which I'll put up in the put a card up in the left-hand corner there, so that you can obviously go and see that, and you'll see exactly what sort of levels are being, you know, sort of contained within the tank, and that's, as I say, is doing this RE-MIN within this auto top-up sort of water. So all I need to do now is literally just take this into the house. I've got that caravan pump with the 12-volt power pack unit, whatever, and that will then pump the water into the container that I've got indoors underneath, obviously, the tank itself, for the auto top-up. And again, if you haven't seen the auto top-up that I've got, then I'll put a link up in the top left-hand corner for that. So I have sort of changed that now, and got Reef factory level keeper. And that's doing a really, really good job. So that's the way I do my RO water. Just remember, whenever you top up your saltwater tank, you must always do it with RODI water, never ever do it with salt water. So the reason obviously we do RODI water is so that we can put back in the right amount of water and the salt level stays the same. If you topped up with salt water, you would be increasing your salt level in the tank
every single time you top up, which generally is going to be daily if you're doing it by hand, or obviously if you've got an auto top up unit, then it's going to be increasing the salt level every day if you use salt water. Hopefully this video has helped you out, and if it has, please give it a like, put a comment in the comment section below. Tell me whether you just use pure RODI water, or do you put some sort of remineralization powder back into your RODI water. But either way, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.
Easy go, easy go.